everybody, my name is Rolo and today we're reading some more Reddit stories. So if that's your cup of tea, please do like and subscribe. And let's jump into the stories. So today's first story was originally posted in r/daddit from the user meantrick2315 with the title, "My brother called me at 2 a.m. in tears asking if I'd raise his 2-year-old. Now I'm scared. Dads, how do I help him right now? Last week, my older brother rang in the middle of the night. He was crying, like really crying, and asked me to promise I'd look after his little girl if anything ever happened to him. He's always been steady. He sailed through the first kid's newborn chaos. But since the second came along, she's 2 now, something's changed. He spends evenings alone in the driveway, just sitting in the car with the engine off. He moved into the spare room, quote unquote, so I don't keep my wife up, but it feels more like retreat than courtesy. During the day, he texts, all good, without any unusual signs. I'm scared this is more than normal dad stress. He won't bring it up with his wife, and I don't want to bulldoze him, but I also don't want to wait for another 2 a.m. call. For parents, or anyone who's been the worried sibling, what actually helped you when the fear and isolation took over? How do I start the conversation about therapy or support without making him shut down? Any ideas welcome. I just want my brother present and okay for his kids." OP later comes in with an edit that says, "I read every single comment. Thank you. The message is loud and clear. That 2 a.m. call was a SOS, not dad stress. I'm flying out tonight. Waiting for the weekend just felt dumb. The plan is simple. Over breakfast, I'm going to ask him straight up, are you thinking about killing yourself? If the answer is even close to a yes, we'll call 988 or go to a doctor together. Then, I'll drag him outside the house to do something he used to love. Maybe golf, maybe a steakhouse or a bad action movie, just to let his brain breathe and create room for him to open up. At some point, I'll loop his wife in gently so she's not in the dark. My ticket is booked. He thinks I'm in town for work. I'll keep you posted. Thanks for pushing me off the couch." I think OP has done everything correct here. The first thing he did, he wasn't sure what was happening, so he reached out to people who would know on a dad-specific subreddit, and he wanted to see if they understood his brother's stress, if they knew what was going on, and tried to get ways to help him, which is more than most people would do straight away. And when they pointed out to him, yeah, this is not normal dad stress. You should go to him, you should make sure he's okay. He did that straight away. He booked a ticket, he's going there. He just wants his brother to be okay, and that just makes me think that OP is such a great person. It's really sad what the brother is going through, and to be that low that he's reaching out to his brother to be like, oh, please make sure that my family is taken care of. Yeah, that's not good or normal. OP does update, but it's striked out, so we'll read that first and get into the second update. Update 1. Got to his place. He smiled when he opened the door. My tears almost slipped out, but I held it together. Low-key catch up tonight and real talk tomorrow. We'll be back with updates. Booked a flight. Confronting him tomorrow. Update 2. I flew out and I'm camped on my brother's couch. Big midnight porch confession. Debt, depression, the whole lot. If you want the full rundown and some questions I need help with, it's here, and links to the post. Thanks again, your advice got me on the plane. OP starts the update post with a recap. My brother called me at 2 a.m. If I don't make it, promise you'll raise my kids. So I flew across the country. Now I'm on his couch. Here's what I just learned. Last night we wound up on his back porch around midnight. Baby monitor humming between us. It was quiet for a long stretch. Then he started talking, and the words poured out. Pretty soon, we were both wiping our eyes. He's embarrassed I flew across the country to babysit him, but even more scared about what would happen to his kids if he ever hit the point of no return. His business is buried in debt and a few clients still haven't paid, so every bill feels like a gut punch. Home is tense too. He took clients to a strip club on a work trip, told his wife right away so there were no secrets, tried to be close later, and she pulled back. He says that felt like the biggest humiliation of his life, and now he freezes whenever things might turn intimate. Back in February, he went to his PCP because he couldn't sleep. The doctor ran a quick screen, called it severe depression, and put him on meds. He didn't tell anyone, because talking to a stranger won't fix it, and he figured he could muscle through. Meanwhile, he feels responsible for his wife, the kids, our parents, and even me. At one point he said, "I can't breathe." The only thing that yanks him out of dark thoughts is his toddler's face in the morning. I pulled out my phone and showed him this Reddit thread. Thousands of strangers pacing over his 2 a.m. call. He shakes his head and laughs. I felt bad stressing you out. Now the whole internet's sweating over me. A bit of the weight slid off right there. Then I reminded him how many times I'd drafted him as my bodyguard while growing up, chasing off boys I didn't like and listening to me cry when the ones I liked didn't like me back. We cracked up at how he's been my unofficial relationship therapist forever while insisting he's bad at feelings. That laugh felt good, but one porch talk isn't a cure. So here's my ask. Therapy averse dads or mums who finally went, what flipped the switch for you? Depression survivors, what was the very first step that gave you air? 2 a.m. panic veterans, when you couldn't call anyone, what kept you from tipping over? Short answers, long stories, whatever helps. This sub already got me on a plane. Maybe you'll get him to real daylight. So after that, commenters came in to help OP out once again, with one commenter saying, not directly what you asked about, but if he has clients that aren't paying, assuming he's a contractor or freelancer and he has some documentation, he can absolutely take them to small claims court over it. I have an acquaintance who did this. He was getting stiffed by 2 clients, a small business and another mid-sized local business, and he sent them notice they were late and that he'd be taking them to court in 7 days. One paid up immediately on the threat, the other didn't. He represented himself in small claims court and the judge found it in his favor. End of story. Obviously, this might feel like an extra thing to take on, and he'd need to do some research, but it could help relieve some financial stress. Small claims court is underrated. You can even sue large companies there in some cases. To which OP says, this is helpful. Thank you. I'll pass this along to my brother. Another commenter responds to OP's question about therapy. I was therapy adverse. I realized that I don't go for me, I go for my kid. I want to be better and have a better grasp on issues so I can model it for my kids. I want a healthy relationship with boundaries, self-image, money, etc. because my folks didn't, and I see all that in me. I want to stamp it out at me. It ends with my generation. Tell your brother if his toddler's face is the only thing that pulls him out of the dark, make it so that the dark disappears as much as it can and the burden isn't on his kid. It's not his kid's job to get him through. It's his job. Talking is helpful. Have him talk to his wife more about what happened and how he feels about how she treated him. OP replies, quoting a section, it's not his kid's job to get him through, it's his job. I think that will speak to him. Thank you. Another commenter says, Dad, physician and therapist activist. I know it may feel like talking to a stranger because that's what it is, in the beginning. A few things to understand. You have to find the right person for you. I realized that I would prefer a male after seeing 2 women because they'd relate better to me. Then I realized I prefer a younger male over an older male. Then a colored male over a white male. Eventually, it just clicked, and it becomes a feeling of, wow, this person gets me. Then this person gets to know you and can allow you to view these situations and issues in a different light. Ask you questions that maybe you haven't thought about, and most importantly, give you the tools to help process and heal the thoughts you may have. You are making really good progress. I commend your commitment and love for your brother. I wish more of my patients had that support system. Continue what you're doing. Continue showing up and continue recommending he find the right therapist for him. Healing your mental health takes work. It's not an easy fix, and it takes time. To which OP says, appreciate the reminder that finding a therapist is a bit like dating. You keep looking until the fit feels right. Thanks for the encouragement and for spelling out what a good therapist actually brings to the table. OP comes in 4 days later with the second update for the situation, but third update overall. Hey, it's the sister with a 2 a.m. call, back because something wild happened. Then gives a quick recap. A few days ago at 2 a.m. my phone lit up. My brother asked if I could take care of his kids if something had happened. The words sounded practical. The hour felt like a silent goodbye. I came here and told you everything. You answered. Hundreds of you. Last night we read all 700 plus replies together. Each line felt like something farther up the trail, flashing a light back towards us. He set the phone down, shook his head and said, he asked me to pass along what landed. His lines and my narration around them. 1. How did we all miss the sirens? Thread after thread told the same gut punch story. Brothers cracking jokes at dinner, FaceTiming goodnights, and then gone. Some waved flags, goodbye texts, sudden giveaways. Others wore flawless masks. Meds skipped, plans cancelled, eyes smiling but empty. His takeaway. Stop betting on maybe tomorrow. Ask the blunt question. Knock away. Fire off the midnight check-in. Mine. Show up first, hope later. Drag them to the doctor today, not when the calendar clears. One knock at the right moment can help a life from swinging shut. 2. Therapy. Jack, not tow truck. He dodged therapy for years. Real men fix flats alone. That one analogy finally landed. His takeaway. If you won't grab a tool for yourself, grab it so your kids don't grow up thinking silence is strength. Mine. Therapy isn't a rescue crew. It lifts the frame so you can work. If the first jack slips, swap it and keep going. 3. Depression never really moves out. We finally admitted it. Depression doesn't pack its bags. Most of us just learn to walk with the limp while acting like everything's fine. Relief looks different for everyone. Weights, riffs, sketchbooks, meds, CBT drills, but even the best routine collapses when you're alone and the limp turns to sludge. Action beats rumination. Ping a friend, walk a block, book the labs, anything. His takeaway. Depression wins if I freeze alone. Any motion with people, lifting, riffing, walking, talking, pumps oxygen back into the day. Mine. Normalize the limp. Keep nudging towards motion and never let anyone walk that limp alone. 4. The 2 a.m. kill zone. That's when the brain rips off its daytime mask and insists the only exit is to stop breathing. 2 refrains echo. I wish he'd called and I had no one to dial. We're never true islands. Even a lone rock has a fish swirling underneath. So reach out when you can't pull yourself back. His takeaway. When tunnel vision hits, a live voice is the crowbar that pries the door back open. Mine. Build fail-safes before the kill zone. Keep numbers pinned, plans primed, and remember, if you can't calm your own storm, send a signal. Someone's awake and willing to steer you till the morning. Why I'm writing and staying. I'm typing part of this in tears because the reality of almost losing my brother finally sank in. Humanity is rare on the internet, but this thread flooded us with it. If these words keep even one more family from that edge, sharing them is a must. No one should die of lonely suffering. Even a lone island isn't truly alone. Life teems beneath the surface. Let's prove that to anyone who feels stranded. What we still need, and your peace. I'm still wiping tears because if I hadn't acted on what the dads and mums here shared, I might be planning my brother's funeral right now. Your advice saved him, so I'm leaning in again. If you're still in the thick of it, what's weighing on you right now? Money panic, med roulette, zero support cycle, name it so we can all see it. If you've made it to steadier ground, what do you wish you'd done sooner or wish existed when things were darkest? What's actually helped you fight back? A habit? A line? A resource? Share the thing that really moved the needle. Everything you offer will go into a living guide we can all lean on. One late night thread kept my brother here. Together, we can keep the next family whole. Wow, this story is just really amazing and shows the difference that a community can make to somebody's life. And now Opie is trying to return that favor and help other people who might be in need or other people who are having the same problem in their life by asking people who have gotten through that or the people who are currently struggling to reach out now in this thread and have people help them. It's really such a nice gesture to do after the same thing helped her situation. I'm really glad that the brother is looking to move forward and seems like he's going to start therapy. We can only hope that that goes well and he gets through this. I wish all the best to OP and her brother. Now let's jump into the final comments. One commenter says, "This is why we are here. You all made my day just now." OP responds with 2 heart emojis. "I'm really grateful to come across with all the amazing dads and mums here." Another commenter says, "Thank you for taking the time to write this. The reference discussion was something I missed, but I'm glad I clicked on this one. There's one huge thing that keeps me coming back to this subreddit, to remind myself that I'm not alone when I struggle. Not ever." To which OP says, "I'm so glad you found this one, and thank you for saying that. That exact feeling, I'm not alone, is what kept me holding it together while writing and reading through tears." And one final commenter says, "This is outstanding progress. I'm proud of you both. He has to fix his business. For small business owners, mental health and the business performance are impossible to separate. He can't do it alone. Just like therapy, he needs to bring in someone that can shine a light where it needs to be. That's not weakness. That's just being smart and using someone else's skill set. He can do this." To which OP says, "Yes, the business still needs to be figured out, but he can't do it unless he's mentally stable, so one step at a time. Thank you for the support." Please make sure to leave in the comments your opinions on that story. If you have any advice for people going through the same situation that OP and her brother were going through, do please leave that too, and maybe you can help somebody else the same way that Reddit helped OP and her brother. That's where I'm going to leave it today, so if you like today's story, please do like and subscribe. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts and opinions on the story too, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!